Section 15 of the American Diary of a Japanese Girl. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The American Diary of a Japanese Girl by Yone Noguchi. In America, Part 13. 17th. Squirrel! What admirable eyes! He projected his head from a hole by my window. He withdrew it a bit and bent it to one side as if he were solving a question or two. Then his eyes stabbed my face. I'm no questionable character, Mr. Squirrel, I said. He hid himself altogether. I amassed some crusts of bread by his hole and watched humbly for his honorable presence. He did not peep out at all. The bread was not a worthy invitation. I varied it with a fragment of ham. Mr. Squirrel wasn't void-stomached. I thought he needed something to read. I tore a poem from the wall. I left it by his respectable cavern. Lo, his head sprouted out to pull it in. Aha, even the squirrel is a poetry devotee in this hill, I said in humorous mood. 18th. Most beloved, Mamma was flogged with a bamboo rod some 100 times when she was a girl, her exchanging of a word with a boy over the fence being deemed an obscenity. My papa spent his lonely days in a room with Confucius till one night a middleman left him with my mamma as with a dolly. I do believe they never wrote any love letter. What would they say, I wonder, if they knew that their daughter had taken to love-letter writing as a profession in America? You shouldn't censure my penury in writing, knowing that I am a Musumi from such a source. Oscar, are your windows clean? Every window of my willow cottage was washed yesterday. Is there anything more happy to see, your beautiful eyes accepted, than a shiny window? I pressed my cheek to the window mirthfully when Mr. Poet tried to pinch it from the outside. My dearest, if he had been my very Mr. Ellis. I made a discovery while I was trimming about the kitchen. Can you guess what it was? Love-letter writer. Gift from heaven, I said, trusting it would help me in my composition. I lit a candle last night. I hid it behind the cover of such a huge Bible, which I had borrowed for the purpose. I was heedful of 2 old men who might disturb me, mistaking the light for a sign that something had happened. Poor Mrs. Heine almost cried. She was so pleased to think that I loved the Bible. Do I love it? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Baka, Bakashi, how sad. The whole bunch of letters wasn't fit for my taste at all, at all. I'm sorry that I used up 2 candles that were all we had in this hill. So, my darling, my letter has to be woven from my truest heart. Good morning, my sweet lord. How are you? Have you breakfasted? Did you eat a beefsteak? I dislike a hearty morning eater. My ideal man shouldn't be given more than a cup of coffee and 1 trembling leaf of bacon. Mr. Poet kills a frog every morning. He says that his fancy springs like a pond singer when he tastes it. I should say that his idea bounds too far in his case. Do you eat frog? I beseech you not to incline toward it. What should I do if your thought ran off from me? Failure of my life. Love is the whole business of woman, you know. Have you any shirt to mend? I have been fixing the poets. Pray express it to me. Should you ask such a pleasure of any other girl, it would be a fatal mistake for you. Remember, Oscar, that the Japanese girl is a mightily jealous thing. My sweetheart, I dreamed a dream. You were a dragonfly, while I was a butterfly. It is needless to say that we loved. One spring day we floated down along the canyon from a mountain 1,000 miles afar. Our path was suddenly barred by a dense bush. We couldn't attain to the garden of life without adventuring in it. So then you stole in from one place, I from another. Alas, we got parted forever. Isn't that a terrible indication? Do you know any spell to turn it good? I'm awfully agitated by it. Oh, kiss me, my dear. I have to ascertain your love in it. Your morning glory. 19th. A little chewy was building a nest under the roof by my door. Dear jovial toiler, I must help him in some way. I unraveled one of my stockings, hoping it might be serviceable in bettering his home. I stood me on a chair, raising up my arms with my gift. The poor sparrow was scared. He cast a grey honorableness on my hand. Oh, naughty chewy, he winged away, twittering, chewy. 20th, the squirrel by my window shows a great fancy for me. He honored me 3 times already this morning. He bore a somewhat scholarly air, a retired professor, I reckon. Is he regular with his diary? Possibly he is idle with a pen, like any other professor. Let me scribble for him today. My one bottle of ink has some time to dry up yet. I will name it the Cave Journal. I will leave it to the professor for a souvenir upon my sayonara to this hill. A. Where are my spectacles? B. Upon my soul, I believe that some mischief is raging. I could never trust even the poet abode. Who stole my 2-cent stamp? God bless you, my precious daughter at Sierra Nevada. By and by, I will erect my private telegraph between us. See, the idea of an idiotic spider tying his net across my front gate. However could he be so ambitious as even to incline to arrest me? He may very likely be a detective, a railroad brigand, is hiding in these heights, I suppose. The world is running worse every day. How shocking. It was a fundamental error of God to create that adventurous Eve. The offspring of a crow can't be other than a crow. Our squirrel history is not blotted by any criminal. I feel a bit conceited in speaking about it. How can I help it? The trouble with God is that he was awfully vain to express his own ability by so many useless things. Rifle, for instance. My poor wife. D. Today is the anniversary of my beloved. She was shot by one 2-legged barbarian. I appealed to the police. American police are rotten through and through. The murderer bribed them, I fancy. I found my wife, but she was only a skin. How often did I tell her that she was risking too much in sporting around? But she didn't mind me, insisting that sightseeing was a better education. I carried her skin into my home. I cleansed it and altered its form a trifle because it was a lady's. I'm still keeping it for church wear. I feel dreadful thinking of her. E. A butterfly passed by my cavern 100 times. Each time she threw me a vulgar laugh. Her face was thickly powdered in yellow. Does she think herself charming? I should say that I would prefer a girl in tights from a saloon stage to her indecency. Such a flirt. I suppose that she wanted me to marry her. No, am I not old enough to avoid running into such foolishness? F. Rainy day. I sat in a memorial corner of my cave with an unfinished novel of my wife's. I do judge she had flashes of genius. She was so deep like the sky. I never suspected that she could gracefully have beaten George Eliot if she had only survived. Poor girl. One tenderly loved by God passes away young. I've fallen into the habit of crying unmanfully nowadays. I cannot help it, can I? G. One thing I must furnish is a bathroom. Cleanliness is the first rule of heaven, I'm told. I went to the lily pond to take a gracious bath. Oh, such water gammons, dirty-handed frogs. How could I dip me in that turbid water? The frogs ought to go to a reformatory school. They have no culture whatsoever. H. Camera hunters are thick as fogs. Today I came near being a victim. No, sir. I can't permit my picture to be seen with those of cheap matinee idols. I must keep some dignity. Americans are too commercial altogether. The pictures of our race are in demand, I imagine. I, beautiful moon, last night I filled my stomach with the divine water from a creek. My face waved in the water. I flattered myself that I was a pretty, handsome gentleman. I sang an ancient Chinese song, Come long tomorrow moon, carrying a harp. J. Stop your empty noise, meadowlarks. Silence is the first study of this hill, and the last, don't you know? I'm absorbed in my grave work, the secret of the world. Kay, my neighboring Jap girl is rather attractive, isn't she? I heard a few scratches of her native bubbling. The pagan speech is not so bad as I thought. L, if there is one thing I cannot endure, it is ignorance. What is the state of your roses, old boy? The poet Heine is utterly alien to rose culture. Shall I order How to Raise Roses from a London publisher? M, I went up the hill to pray to God. The higher, the nearer. When I came back, my honourable vestibule was blocked, I found, by the dirt. The poet was ditching close by my residence. I couldn't blame his conduct, however, because no one could see my home. I don't hang out a sign like a quack doctor. It occurred to me that I would strike into his cottage and snatch the best poems from his drawer and sell them with my name. I must secure the international copyright, I said, but I couldn't dare it, my impulse being thwarted. I am no wicked reporter, don't you see? I hid me in his historical iron pot all day. Heine was posting around the following card: no shooting. I venture to say that he is the only one civilized two-legged in the whole world. Oh, where's my napkin? Chinese laundry isn't punctual in delivery. P, I think I must learn how to swear for a pastime. Q, my fellow brother Mr. Blank was shot this morning. The paper says there is a possibility of war between Russia and Japan. A preacher prophesies the disappearance of the universe. Everything is precarious in the extreme. I will not poke around outside during the day. I will loaf in the poet's orchard under the breezy moonlight. Poetical existence is just enough. I will withdraw me to the sanctuary of the muses. R, heaven be with my soul. Amen. S, goodbye, my dear old world. 21st. A Chinaman passed with a weighty load of washing on his shoulder. Friend, stop a minute. Take a glass with me before you go. The poet rolled out with a claret bottle. Did you ever see a Chinese in love? Did you ever see one smile? Mr. Charlie smiled a serene smile of the flower kingdom pattern. God bless the Empress Dowager, Mr. Poet said. Both raised their wine. The load is too heavy for you. You are killing yourself. I can't bear to see it. My friend, obey me. Let me help you. Don't leave till I come back. The poet hurried for his questionable buggy and horse. He cracked his whip. He never whips the horse, but he carries it for fashion's sake, as he remarks. When Mr. Charlie protested, me, oh, rye, you savvy? The Chinaman was dumbfounded, for the poet was unknown to him. Mr. Heine pushed him in. When he leaped up, he noticed his horse, in tender tone. Go on, baby. What a goody-goody. His act never parts from poetry, however, I said. I was simply dying for an opportunity to explode my good heart when I invited one tramp to my willow cottage. I fed him with 12 eggs. I emptied out all my change for him. Don't you feel cold lying outdoors? I said. Yes, miss. Don't you need an overcoat? Yes, miss. When Mr. Tramp left me with an overcoat in his hand, looking like a proud mayor of Tokyo, my uncle was coming from Mrs. Heine's. Uncle, you do want to be good to a poor man, don't you? You have made yourself a great philanthropist with your overcoat. What have you done? I presented it to a tramp. Morning glory. Never mind, uncle. I will buy a swell coat in New York. You have some more, haven't you? It cost me 40 yens at Hama. You really are a foolish girl, Asago. Asago is my humble name in Japanese. Then I kissed his hand most pathetically. In fun, for my part, of course. End of section 15.